You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I have a cat, two sweets, the travel kitty. I have a big girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool. To a fountain, live in the mountain, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Woof and Super Smiles. Welcome to A Super Smiley Adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my co-host, two-time shelter mutt Super Smiley, who was the national spokesdog for the American Humane Association Hero Dog Awards, and now is the ambassador of kindness for the Animal Film Festival. As the pet lifestyle coach, I travel the country with Smiley, helping people adopt the right pet for their lifestyle and then help train them so they keep that pet forever. And here on A Super Smiley Adventure, we explore adventures where animals lead. They can be journeys for animal advocacy, for adventure and fun, and they almost always lead to paths of inner discovery and greater bonding with our pets. And this week, we were on an amazing adventure. We were live at the inaugural World Dog Awards, hosted by George Lopez, with major star appearances. From the Vampire Diaries' smoldering Ian Somerhalder to iconic canines like Lassie. Smiley and I were on the green carpet talking with a sea of dog-loving stars, and we are so thrilled today to be talking with the esteemed creator and executive producer of the World Dog Awards, Bob Horowitz. Bob, hey, welcome to A Super Smiley Adventure.
Thank you very much. Yeah, tonight's a big night for dogs. And inaugural World Dog Awards at 8 o'clock on the CW.
Absolutely. I am so excited. Smiley and I are going to have eyes on the TV. And Bob, anyone who watches TV should know your name. First, I want everyone to know about you. You're the founder and president of Juma Entertainment, and you've produced so many top television series and specials like CBS's Super Bowl's Greatest Commercials. Everybody loves that one. NBC's Singing Bee. I love that. And Barn Hunters, the Clio's World's Best Commercials. Vanilla Ice goes Amish, and Amish is very hot now. And there's so many more top shows on Bravo, A&E, Travel Channel. Just the list goes on. And today, as you mentioned, we are here to talk about the World Dog Awards. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your event.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. You know, the very nice credit comment you threw out there, Super Bowl's Greatest Commercials on CBS, which we've been doing for 14 years. It's our big show on CBS. Super Bowl commercials. You know who what are the number one pitchmen in Super Bowl commercials or things? They're dogs.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, dogs are prevalent everywhere. They're so much a part of our society. You know, in Super Bowl commercials, Puppy Love, which is the Budweiser, spot with the dog and the Clydesdale, actually won the Super Bowl commercials ad meter this past year. So, dogs are prevalent in our society. We love them. They're so much a part of our everyday life, and we created these World Dog Awards to kind of showcase all of that in a 2-hour primetime special.
I love that. And it's so perfect. And the World Dog Awards, Bob, when I was there, it was like the Academy Awards designed to honor these dogs. In your special, you delivered the stars, both human and canine. It was a huge event. And so you mentioned that they're so prevalent in our society. But what inspired you to honor the dogs with this award ceremony? What inspired the show?
What inspired the show was, I would say about 2 years ago, we had an idea in development that we wanted to do a show called Gimme Shelter. Gimme Shelter was basically Extreme Makeover Dog Shelter Edition. And, where we go into a town and try to solve in 4 television days, descend on an area and on a city and try to solve the dog overpopulation problem. So we took that out. And the reason I mention that is one of the networks we pitched that to was the CW. And at the CW, just so happens that the president of the CW is a huge dog lover, has 4 basset hounds. And so our pitch for this one show, Gimme Shelter, kind of resonated with him. We came very close to selling it to them. So the next year, which was this past February, I get a call out of the blue from the network saying, do you think there's any way you could create the People's Choice Awards for dogs. Now, when a network calls you in our business versus you pounding the pavement to develop and pitch shows, it's a pretty quick answer. In this instance, because it involves dogs, he had me at woof. And so we took on, we got it in 2 seconds, took on the project, and the idea was to create, I say the People's Choice Awards for dogs, it's because People's Choice Awards is a pop culture show, that it's your standard awards, yet at the same time, they create new awards that are relevant to today. So that's what we did, and we created a concept of this show that involved, I call it 3 different areas. One was we wanted to create standard awards that could live on year after year, which would be dogs in film or dogs in TV, dog commercials, because obviously commercials are very close to our heart, and we knew that dogs had been big stars there, that we wanted to, in this category I'm talking about right now, which is called standard awards, we wanted those awards to not only reward dogs, but also humans in the dog space. So where we might have Best Dog on TV, which we'll have tonight, we also have a category which we'll have tonight, which is Best Actor in a Supporting Role to a Dog, so where they take, the back seat or second place in relation to the star, dog. And then we wanted to also tap into the millions and tens of millions of people that, post viral online content. So we created categories there where people could submit certain, content within reunions. It could be content deal. I don't want to give the show away tonight, but it could be reunions, best reunions for the military. It could be most talented dog, popular dog. So anyway, so that's called the viral category. And then there was that third bundle, which was, honorees, Lifetime Achievement Awards. So an area that would tug on the heartstrings. So the first area was you turn on this show, which I hope viewers will do tonight, and they'll look and they'll go, wow, this is a real award show for dogs.
It's so
this
cool.
And feels
absolutely, yes.
like an Oscar. And then they'll laugh with the viral and shed a tear with the honorees and the achievement side. So, it's the first year, but we're pretty excited about it.
I was so excited to be there. And Bob, we want to hear more about your show. And like you said, the World Dog Awards airs tonight, Thursday, January 15th on the CW network at 8 p.m. And we're going to be right back in just a minute. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
I'm Smiley the dog. I'm Super Smiley. Let's rock!
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome! Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on A Super Smiley Adventure with the creator and executive producer of the World Dog Awards, Bob Horowitz. Bob, thank you so much for joining us on Super Smiley Adventure.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, and again, I hope we get a huge audience tonight of both humans and dogs. In fact, what's interesting, we even for the World Dog Awards, we even posted today that what we want to do is we want to see the pictures tonight, which has always been part of the idea of it's. You hear about it's family viewing. We want this family viewing we want to widen the net so that it includes dogs. So I would love to see photos tonight that are posted and shared of people watching the World Dog Awards with their four-legged friends.
And do you want them to post to a certain space or just hashtag World Dog Awards?
Hashtag World Dog Awards is probably the best. Hashtag World Dog Awards. And again, it's family and dog viewing. And
Absolutely.
I think it's fun, and I think that there will be a lot of families that will say, get over here. Look, let's all watch together. And if we accomplish that, we've done our job.
I'm pretty sure that that's not going to be any problem. And just so you know that in the last 4 days, I guess it's been 4 days now, Super Smiley and I have been hashtagging World Dog Awards all over the web.
Oh, that's so nice.
We've already gotten a head start on that. And so you had so many great stars as presenters and special guests. And on the red carpet, like I mentioned, we have a mega show on Pet Life Radio with the live coverage. And I love meeting everyone, especially the dogs. And for me, meeting Lassie, it was a surreal experience. Was there a specific dog or an experience with one of the dogs that stands out for you personally? Something you can tell us, a story?
I would say Lassie.
Yes.
It's funny that you said that, because as viewers will see in the show tonight, there are some great heartfelt, stories. We have a part of the show which is the Subaru 911 award and the family that is involved with the story and the dog. And it's just a tremendous, story. Or one of our 5 dogs of the year is this dog, Hank, who is the rescue dog that showed up, at the Milwaukee Brewers field, and then the baseball team adopted, the dog, and now he's a gigantic hero. But anyway, all these dogs were there, but I grew up watching Lassie. And, to see Lassie there, I think in many ways is like for a, kid that is a basketball fan seeing LeBron James. So Lassie gave me my Kobe or LeBron James moment.
I felt the same way about Lassie. I got to meet her. I got to interview her. Actually, I'd ask her a question and she'd go, woof, woof, woof. And she had wonderful, wonderful answers. And the main thing was for everybody to tune into the show tonight. She wants everybody to see all the dogs. And I loved her handler. She said that Lassie was always saving the day. Isn't that a great phrase? Do you love that? She was saving the day.
Oh, saving the day. The other thing that, for people when watching tonight that I think is really unique. Because, again, you mentioned, celebrities bringing the dogs. But whether they're celebrities or not, I think the idea when you look into the audience and you see the makeup, there are dogs sitting in the audience with the celebrities. And there are some really great moments and reactions where, and the winner is... and then the dog jumps down out of the seat with its handler and comes up. And it is priceless because it's everything we wanted it to be, which was to have that feel like an award show and to play it straight, but therein playing it straight would give you some chuckle moments and some levity, but it would all be natural and real. I think the other thing to mention, again, what to watch out for tonight. Watch how behaved the dogs are.
Yes.
I know you probably witnessed that. I was actually blown away because in the months leading up to it, you're trying to think, what are all those things you need to do? And because you're going to have 100+ dogs that are in attendance. So if you have portalets for the humans, how are you dealing with that aspect of the event for dogs? But one of the big areas is you take a theater or a soundstage, you put all the dogs in. What's it going to sound like? What if they all start barking?
Right. The technical aspect.
How can you do the TV show? So we had behavioral experts. Well, probably the biggest comment after the event that night for our team was, "Oh my God, did you notice how well behaved the dogs were?" Anyway, that's very, very cool. And you'll see it on TV, although on TV, I'm sure the viewer will think, well, what did they do to keep the dogs so calm? No, the dogs are just very well behaved.
Absolutely. And I love the way you just said that, because it's, once again, the dogs are being our teachers. We're using them as role models. If the people would only behave that way sometimes, right? We can look to our dogs. And speaking of the people and the audience, George Lopez hosted, and I thought he was so perfect. He was so fun. He had a great rapport with the dogs. He goes down into the studio audience and talks with the people. Did you just love him as your host?
I thought that for a number of reasons. One, he's a dog owner, and two was that if you're trying to you turn it on, do you believe it's a big show? And I think for viewers, when they flip on the dial and they see George Lopez, the first reaction is, wow, this is a real award show. And so for that reason, yes, it's great. And then the third thing would be, whenever you launch a first-year show, it helps so much to have pros in certain situations. And obviously, as your host, that's a part of the show where if you have a pro, it just makes it that much easier. And he definitely brought his game, and he was also very well behaved.
Yeah, he was very good boy, George. Good boy. And all the stars that we met on the green carpet, they were the human stars. They were just so happy, and they loved to talk about their dogs. And you've produced so many programs. Did you find that having the dogs on the carpet and backstage lightened the mood? Or you talked about the technical issues, which worked out beautifully. But how did having the dogs on the set affect the people that were around?
I think it makes it easier for them because it's almost like if they brought a family member, a child, to a show or on set where they wanted to really show that child off or really wanted the child to see what mom or dad does. And I think here in this instance, they wanted to bring their dogs. And they were then all into just being fantastic presenters, so cooperative. There's a bit that Melissa Peterman will have in the show tonight. Big dog owner. She's hilarious. Where
she's great. I loved her.
Presenting tonight the dog, for dog mascot, and where
she's very funny.
Where there are a number of schools with dog mascots that are nominated. Anyway, she just went all out. Would have she done that if it didn't involve a show that involved dogs? Probably. But when it involved dogs, and she brought her dog. That's what was so great.
I loved it.
She brought her dog. That all these people, Property Brothers will be in the show tonight.
Oh, yes. I wanted to mention them. I love talking with the Property Brothers, Drew and Jonathan Scott. They had their little dogs there, and they talked about the feeling of family, how their little dogs were literally family, and that's what you're talking about, right?
It's all right. It's all family, and so as was what there was just a warm feeling, and again, as the executive producer of the show, you said, what was the highlight for you? Meeting Lassie.
Yes.
I think for Jonathan and Drew, the highlight was meeting Lassie. I know for Jason too, highlight meeting Lassie, right? So and it's tough to sometimes wow celebrities, and I think in that instance they were blown away and had their own OMG moments, just like we all did. So, right. And in talking with celebrities at these big animal shows, I've always seen it as they're usually there shining their light, but at shows like this, at your show, the World Dog Awards, the stars were out to shine their light on the animals. And I just love that because it is all about the animals. And another star that I spoke with was Mark Feuerstein from Royal Pains, and he just went on and on about his dogs. He talked about how walking them actually kept him centered in life, and walking them was a meditation for him. What do you think about dogs helping us in our everyday lives? What do you think about that? I mean, Mark is a huge dog lover, and we've talked about how dogs can be therapeutic, and that we all know, and there's a whole wide range of what therapeutic means, and I think they're a grounding force often. Yes. It's right. I mean, I have a golden retriever. You walk in the door, right? And he's your therapy dog. That's just the way it is. She's happy to see me, no matter how her day went, that doesn't matter, so again, it adds a smile to your face. Absolutely. I love that you said it adds a smile. My dog is Super Smiley, which my show is named after, and he's actually a certified therapy dog and animal-assisted crisis response dog, and these dogs go into disaster areas to lighten the mood, to ground people, and to just make them feel safe, and I think that's what we're talking about. Our dogs just do that for us, and you also have Ian Somerhalder from the Vampire Diaries. Everyone loves him, and I know that he is such a huge animal advocate. He's been a guest on our show here when he won a Humane Society of the United States Genesis Awards, and you all honor him. Can you tell us just a little bit, without giving it away, but about his special place in the World Dog Awards? He's very cool, and what was interesting about it is I talked to him, it's not backstage, I talked to him backstage, right, of course, yes, in the green room, and that was really the first time I had talked to him and heard his passion for the Ian Somerhalder Foundation and all the the things that they do in terms of rescuing dogs, but you see the passion from an actor that isn't acting. What was very cool about his award is that the ASPCA is involved in the World Dog Awards as our charity, as is the Pedigree Foundation.
Yes,
but the
we
ASPCA,
love Pedigree. Yes.
part of their involvement was to set up an annual award that would reward a celebrity man's best friend. And, Ian was their first recipient. So the ASPCA chose Ian to receive. And, again, it was just great since I knew he was going to be there, and it was great because he's also on the CW in Vampire Diaries. It was
perfect.
Very interesting. Yeah, to see his passion. Yeah.
Absolutely. So congratulations again to Ian Somerhalder, and big shout out to ASPCA. We love them. They've also been a guest on our show, and they just do amazing, amazing work. And another star I want to mention is Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank, and on that show he is so laser focused, right? It's the Shark Tank. But when I talked with him on the green carpet, it was so fun because if a dog walked by, his voice went up, and he's like, "Oh, look at that dog." And then I'd ask him a question. Then he'd go, "Oh, look at that dog." And dogs just have this ability to just draw us in, even with the shark from Shark Tank. What do you think about that?
They do. And then he will present tonight with the star of Sharknado, Ian Ziering, right?
Right?
And Ian Ziering brought his dog, right?
Yes.
So, so we have the star of Shark Tank and the star of Sharknado, both presenting. And if you'll see tonight in the show, the dog that Robert has there has a little outfit on that plays to a shark. It's kind of funny.
It is perfect. It's perfect. And Super Smiley and I want to hear more about the dogs right after this break. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
It's designerpetsweaters.com, the latest fashion trends for our furry friends. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
I love animals. They are my friends. They are my children. They are the furry brothers and kids. They are my family. They understand me. That's how I love my pets.
I Love My Pets, the new single by Mark Winter, available on iTunes.
Victoria Schaefer, aspiring actress, babysitter extraordinaire, college student, and animal enthusiast, is on her own for the first time in New York City. Follow Victoria and her two dogs, Rue and Echo, as she cares for her furry friends and juggles home life and career, all the while managing to survive in the world's most hectic city. The exciting animal adventures and secret stories from both ends of the leash that make up the Tales of the City.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, I am Mark Feuerstein from Royal Pains on Pet Life Radio, and I am on a super smiley adventure.
And we're back on a Super Smiley Adventure with the executive producer and creator of the World Dog Awards, Bob Horowitz. Welcome back, Bob.
Thank you.
And again, the World Dog Awards, let's just say this right at the top, is airing tonight on the CW network at 8 p.m. And Super Smiley and I will have eyes on the screen. But Bob, we're so happy to have you with us right now live. You mentioned a lot about the dogs, but can you talk a little bit more? I know you don't want to give anything away, but actually you won't give anything away because it's seeing them on the television that's going to be so much fun. But can you talk about some of the really special dogs that we'll see tonight? Just name a couple of them.
You can see, tonight, the culminating award in the World Dog Awards. Like, you have to have an award show, you have to have a culminating award.
A big award, yeah.
So our best picture is, Dog of the Year. That is, the Oscars has the best picture. Ours is Dog of the Year. So I thought it was so cool that Mayor Duke, the mayor from Minnesota, of a small town that is a dog, is, one of the 5 nominees.
Bob, I want to make sure the listeners understand this. There is a town and the citizens actually elected a dog as mayor. I just wanted to say that again, so that really got in people's head. That was amazing. And they love their mayor, don't they? They just adore him, right?
They adore the mayor. Best run city in America. Yeah, right?
Right.
So Mayor Duke is one of the 5. Also, Waka, Andy Cohen's dog, is one of the 5 dogs. And if listeners are kind of saying, what do you mean dog of the year? Dog of the year is a dog that resonated in pop culture, a dog that received headlines. So, Mayor Duke, obviously big headlines, first dog mayor ever. Andy Cohen's dog featured in the book. Andy Cohen and his dog featured in People magazine, right? So, this year, those are 2. Hank, the dog from the Milwaukee Brewers, Sports Illustrated, ESPN. It's a dog of the year. So I think that's a great way to end the show, and we have stories on all 5 of them, just like you would see clips from a movie culminating with the presenting of the award, and 4 of the 5 dogs are there. Obviously, Andy's doing a show in New York, so Andy and Waka couldn't be there, but that's a great one. And the one thing that I would say for viewers that they're going to love tonight, and I really have to give the credit to Penn and Teller, is there's a magical component to the night where I'll say that Penn and Teller, 2 of the world's greatest magicians, agreed to do a magic stunt trick on the show. It obviously wasn't sawing a dog in half, right? It wasn't going to be that.
No, it's so cute. It is so cute. And so the dog...
But they did a trick. What I'll tell what I'll tell the listeners is they did a trick where the mark, the person or thing that was the subject of the trick, was a dog.
Yes.
So they did an entire magic trick on a dog. And I think it's hilarious. It's brilliant. But it just shows, once again, what top celebrities will do, go the extra mile when it involves dogs.
Right, and it's a whole skit. It is so wonderful. You did an amazing job, Bob, pulling all of this together, because when you mentioned Penn and Teller and these things, you're the executive producer. You masterminded this, and it's just so beautifully done. And you also have dogs. You mentioned everyday dogs that have inspired, and let's go to the little dog that had been burned and one that was on a scooter. These are inspirational dogs. Can you talk about those little inspirational dogs for a minute?
Tubaru, which is, I think that's really interesting story, which is the dog that was born without, little Chihuahua, without 2 front legs.
Right.
And how an engineer, because they were thinking at first to put the dog down, because how, it's really born without 2 front legs. Anyway, they created this apparatus that the dog could wear where it's like rollers that serve as a way for him to get around to balance with his 2 hind legs. And it's just such an inspirational story. And so, that's featured. I mentioned about the hero dog that you'll see in the Subaru 911.
Right. And Turbo Roo, let me go back to him a second. He not only is an inspirational story that can make us feel good and really just feel positive and kind of elevate us, but Turbo Roo, I understand, actually goes and visits people who are dealing with problems where they can't move or they're overcoming paralysis. And he is literally an inspiration to these people that are doing similar things. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's real life stuff, right?
Definitely is. It definitely is. It's not a sad part. I would say it's uplifting because our staff found them. Tonight's a 2-hour show. Again, I talked about that it's not just all about inspirational stories. The whole show should be inspirational, but there's so much that couldn't be included, so many more stories. We had to be selective, which ones that we did use, because there are just so many great stories that are out there. Unfortunately, we only have 2 hours for the show. You've said some very nice things about me and being the creator and the EP. There was a huge team that was behind this. My other executive producer, Josh Greenberg. But besides giving them the shout out, bark out, what was really great and unique to productions, that you just saw the staff you just saw the staff willing to go the extra mile, work late hours
for these dogs,
because it involved a subject that they loved. And if they went into it not really being as emotionally attached. They interviewed because it was an award show. Oh yeah, I have a dog, or I love dogs. But by the end, I think just from researching to the connections that they made with the people that are on the show, whether it be a celebrity or the families across America, it was just so powerful. And producers left the production. I think was a little sad that it was over. And can't wait for next year.
Yes, because whenever I'm an actor as well, and whenever I do a film or a television show, you become kind of a family, and just in general, that sometimes, often, you're kind of sad to leave your family. But I can imagine this was much, much more profound because these dogs, they really go right into your heart, right? I mean, they touch you on a different level than humans can even attempt to scratch the surface, right?
Totally. I mean, if you think about, if you're a producer in a production office and you're reaching out and talking to a family that has an inspirational story, say in Boston, Massachusetts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But if you're reaching out as a producer and you're asking a family to be on a show, whatever that show is, or you want to do a piece on them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That you're a producer and they're the subject matter, and you have a job to do, and you don't necessarily share the same passion.
Right.
Here, you're on the phone talking to, in this hypothetical family in Boston, Massachusetts, and they are interested to talk to you because there's a common bond, and that common denominator are dogs, right? And one kind of begets the other, and there's so many stories like that in our pre-production that resonated and you saw happening in the office.
I totally understand this. Dogs really, they create an instant bond because there is an instant connection, something that we share on, not just like, oh, I like to play golf or I like to watch sports.
Right.
It's that I feel this, I get you. You love your dog like I love my dog. You must be pretty cool. That kind of thing, right? I mean, it's just awesome.
Exactly, yes. You watched the Andy Cohen piece tonight.
I love
Andy is a celebrity. He's brilliant at what he does. And you see him talk about Waka.
Yeah.
And it's not shtick. I mean,
it is.
And then you see a situation where Lisa Vanderpump tonight will present Waka as one of the 5 dogs of the year. And in Lisa's presentation, it's passionate. And it's about, and she's talking about, it's not about, what an amazing person Andy Cohen is. She's talking about what Waka has done to Andy's life, and it's speaking from the heart, and what Andy has told Lisa, and because they're friends. So I think that's just beautiful and will hopefully resonate to big ratings tonight.
I hope so too, because dogs certainly do change our lives for the better. And you mentioned Andy and his dog, and you also there are a lot of star dogs there. Let's see, we've got the dog who plays Stella on Modern Family, who I love. We watched her on television last night, and some more star dogs besides Lassie. Can you mention a couple of those?
If you take the top dogs on TV, right?
Yep.
The TV dog, they are there.
You're going to see them.
Let me say the Quivanjane Wallace, who's nominated for Best Supporting Actress to a Dog.
That's right. Good shout out to her.
Right. So if she's supporting actor to a dog, okay, that dog flew from New York to be there. And, that was the other thing that was very, very cool, that through one of the sponsors of the event and our friends at Southwest, and they really are friends of ours at Southwest, and we had no idea from the beginning that they would be as passionate as they are. It wasn't just for exposure and award show. They wanted to show how great they are with dogs. And so anyway, they flew in the dogs from all around the U.S. to be there in the show tonight.
I love that. Bless them.
And the dogs got preferential treatment. Like the dogs boarded first. The dogs boarded first, and their handlers or owner, got to sit with them in the front row. But what's very cool is, think about this: for many of these families of dogs, this is the first time their dog has flown.
Absolutely right.
So people's passion, and for their dog, right? So it's like that was a big family experience to fly to the World Dog Awards with their dog. So there were all these great moments.
Right, huge. And Bob, I know for me that animals are healers and teachers. I have rescued cats, dogs, and my horses live right with me in my backyard here. And have dogs taught you anything in your life? Have you learned anything from the actual dogs that have touched you on a very deep heart level?
Yeah, I would say the unconditional work.
There you go.
That you can't get inside your dog's head, right?
Yes, right.
But, it's just that unconditional love no matter what. And I think, in that unconditional, yes, it can be love. It could be unconditional in terms of in a relationship, unconditional as in that you're my person. I trust you. And so it's trust. It's unconditional affection. And I think that's just a great takeaway and something that if you can apply even half of that, a third of that in your everyday life, bingo.
I love that. Bob. That is a great takeaway. Just the word unconditional. And everybody, again, the broadcast is tonight on the CW at 8 p.m. The World Dog Awards. Super Smiley and I will be there. And Bob, we can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule to join a Super Smiley Adventure with me. Thank you so much for bringing us the World Dog Awards.
Thanks so much for your support and exposure for the event. And it will only get bigger and bigger. And just, again, we'd love to see people hashtag World Dog Awards. Send those photos of your dogs watching.
Absolutely. We're going to be doing that too. So we're going to be sending them and checking out the hashtag World Dog Awards. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you. And good luck tonight for our Super Possum ratings. We're pulling for that. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Bye. And we can't say goodbye without thanking our Super Possum producer and the co-founder of Pet Life Radio. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, Mark. So a huge Super Smiley shout out and thank you to Mark Winter, our super producer. And from all of us here at Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure, we hope you love all your adventures with your pets. I'm Megan Blake, and until next time, woof and super smiles.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.